Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Rapid Chess here. Today I will show you the game between Anish Giri and Giri Alekseenko from the last round of the candidates. Basically, candidates ended one day before the last round when Nepomniachtchi was took the first place because of the tie breaks. He was better on the head-to-head against Giri. The tournament has been, I think, very successful. It was big intrigue almost all the tournament. For the second part of the tournament, many claim that Fabiano could have won, because 1 point actually is not that big of advantage when we talk about seven rounds and including different tie breaks. And obviously Fabiano lost only to Dean Liran, and Dean Liran wasn't fighting for the championship. So I think almost all players had this good chance. I think the Corona is biggest disappointment of this tournament, because even though he has won against MVL in very nice fashion, he showed this long variation, he had this preparation, but he didn't show a lot in the middle game when you're out of your prep and you have to play on your own. He didn't win against Alexeyenko, even though he had very good chance. He just took this pawn on b2, and Alexeyenko just make a draw very quickly after attacking his knight. So I think that Fabi can be very happy about this tournament. Of course, Giri is I don't know, some kind of novelty for this for this format chess. He progressed within the last year, and now he almost won he basically won the data steal, and he had a very good chance of joining Nepo at the top, but he somehow something went wrong against Grischuk. I think I don't know. He was more thinking maybe about this calculation of points, and he was thinking when I will win and so on, and he had to face very strong grandmaster, and just had to think about the game, but he didn't do it. He thought about like tournament overall. That's what I'm thinking. And Grischuk also played an important role in this tournament when he had only 50% of points, but he did a big job for Nepomniachtchi. He won both MVL and Giri, and they, after loss to Grischuk, they lost basically all chances of winning the tournament. So a big role of Grischuk. Grischuk also was talking about problems with this format, that in his press conference he said that, well, if you have a reserve day for a tiebreak for playing, why do you have this head-to-head tiebreaks and so on? So possibly that next tournament we will have some rapid tiebreaks, just as in the match for World Championships. And it's not because, of course, Grischuk wants it. It's just Kasparov expressed this opinion, and some others very notable sources. So we'll see about that. Also, I think he was saying about this tale of the tournament, basically the players who are not fighting for the first place and they still impact. Let's say Van Gaal had in the first half 50% and then he got sick and he lost last 3 games. Well, he could have made a big difference for the tournament overall. Yeah, with this not being able to fight, then it's very important who plays him and when. All right, so good luck to Nepomniachtchi. I think he has good chance against Magnus. I would bet on Nepomniachtchi actually, because he's in top form, and Magnus, I don't know if he has this motivation to give everything to win. I'm sure he will fight, and but I think that this is the player. Nepomniachtchi is a player who actually doesn't have this issue with psychological issue like Kramnik or Aronian. He sees a person rather than just some kind of miraculous guy who can defend every position and not make a draw but to win. Yeah, when Kramnik has +1 pawn, yeah, and still he thinks how to save his game against Magnus with white pieces. I mean, I'm overrating maybe, but this was what was happening. All right, so Giri, Anish lost previous game to Grischuk. It was, I don't know, quite disappointing game. And the irony that he plays the same opening basically with white, and he still loses. It's not about the opening really, it's about the player. So let's see the game. So c4, knight f6, g3, e6, and d4. So in this position he goes for d4. Alexeyenko played the same setup against Nepomniachtchi and lost very quickly. This time Giri decided to not to go into this English opening setup, but to play Catalan. Actually, Catalan is, I think Giri is one of these players who still tries to have it on its repertoire, regularly played. But I played a lot of Catalan, and let's say I wouldn't try it with white for a win. Yeah, it's very difficult to win. So bishop b4, knight to d2. It's a little bit offbeat variation. I think knight c3 is now more accurate. Castles, knight d3, b6, bishop b2, and b3. So in this last rounds, the strategy is to if you're trying to win, and Giri obviously was trying to win, is to have a very long, boring game, and in this case you might have this chance at the end. Bishop rook e8. Karyakin played against Giri c5, and this setup. So it's also a possibility. Black always gives up this dark square bishop for the knight and have very solid position in the center. Well, rook e8 is more, of course, engine move. So just develops the pieces. Rook c8, rook d1. In Catalan, you want to develop your rooks first. Sometimes we see, I don't know, rook f to d1 and rook c1, but it's something different. c5, queen b1. You don't want to have your queen and opposite the rook, so Giri plays this. Also, he might consider playing queen a1 as in Reti. Queen e7. Takes, and bishop takes. Black totally equalized. I'm not sure what was Giri plan here, but yeah, Black doesn't seem to have any problems. I think that Black might be even a little bit better. His position looks more natural than Giri. Okay, exchange the bishop, check, goes back, and b5. Yeah, well, I think it's a good move. He takes away this square from the knight, and somehow white starts to lack a little bit of space. Yeah, he would need this square for maneuvering, but now he has to go back, and these two knights, they interfere each one with each other. So back, rook d8. So both rooks are active. And at this point, it was clear that Giri will not take the second place because MVL was already winning Van Hao very quickly. But unfortunately, Van Hao had this health issue, which I didn't know about, but he told after the game that he will quit from this from the professional chess and become an amateur. He has a lot of things to do, as I understand, but it's too difficult for in his age to continue. Okay, so a3, and Alexeyenko immediately took. You can go back to a8 because of the b4. So takes, and in this position, Giri played this position, so he took on f6. Well, it's actually a good bishop, and white invested a lot of tempi to develop it. They played b3. Maybe rook d2 would be more interesting. If takes, then then rook d8 first, takes, and this wins a piece for white. So this was my recommendation, but it's okay then. So pawn takes. Actually, this is one of these rare cases when black has these doubled pawns, but there is too little material on board to make use of this. So I think Alexeyenko at some point was happy that he had these doubled pawns, because his king was couldn't be checked at some point. So Giri just underestimated this fact that he will not be able to use this weakness. Okay, back, 94. When we have these open lines, then normally you don't want to just remove your piece and pretend that you have the game is more complicated. Just all the grandmasters, when they have these open lines, they just exchange this pieces, major pieces, a5, b4. Otherwise, black would play b4 and take the c3 square. So this is a little bit forced. a4, rook c1, and bishop queen d5. So black has this very powerful position in the center, and white doesn't have counterplay. So Giri is in trouble. Queen c2, king g2, maneuvering. They are on in some time trouble. It's good to repeat if you play them for win. It's what Alexeyenko does. He just keeps making the moves for the time control. And knight to d2. So Alexeyenko, so as you see, Giri is repeating the moves, but Alexeyenko is one who doesn't want to repeat the moves and play a draw. He sees that white doesn't have counterplay. Giri is not playing that good, so he decides to continue the game, even though his opponent is obviously much stronger, but not in this particular case. Okay, knight c4, exchanging the rooks, queen d3. Well, just random move. His knight is pinned. I think, and he decides to attack the knight c4 and e4. Well, you want to stop the spin for the knight, and e4 is, I think it's a good decision. I would play it as well. g4. This is a bit wrong pass. Yeah. Giri was very nervous that day. He was disappointed, and I think every commentator and every just spectator was saying that look, you're playing with white the last round against the worst player of this tournament. So everyone just written down that Giri wins, and he himself was very confident that he will win because he won Caruana with black. So when you're playing white against Alexeyenko, you think that it's going to be a positive result, but that is why he's made himself to play this positional, I don't know, just suspicious moves, g4. And it's cost white almost one pawn evaluation. Queen c7, knight d2, and knight e5. Of course, you don't want to exchange the knights when you have these outposts and you can attack. Queen e3. This is actually a computer move which I couldn't understand, but it's the only move which keeps white in the game. Giri found it, very good defense. If black takes here immediately, then queen g3, yeah, and after this exchange, somehow white is better. White is the one who will activate his pieces quickly, and he has some counterplay to win. Yeah, the engine now says that black has wins with knight e5, but it's not that obvious actually, because these double pawns now, they matter. Okay, queen e3, h6, and f4. Again, not the best decision. I'd play something like h3, which is just reinforcing this g4 pawn and giving you some space. But f4, I don't know. I just don't understand it. Was he playing for win or no idea? So knight g4. Now tactic works for black because this h6 and f4 is obviously for the black's benefit. Queen g3, f5. If h3, then queen c2 was strong, counter-attacking this knight, and if queen even defends, then this knight is not attacked and not pinned, so it can move away, and all white's pieces are pinned and attacked. So he played knight f1. In the after next 10 moves, Giri played really well. He almost defended against all threats. So very good play by him. h5, king e2, and queen b6. The engine was saying that e5 is winning, but I think it's very hard move to spot. The idea is like if you take here, then takes and opens up the game for black. So he didn't play, he didn't find it, but the engine says the position is equal, but it's the case when you can't actually believe the engine, because the king here is attacked from all sides. This king is very good. H3, then black has h4, and they will not lose their knight, obviously, and white's king is in trouble. These pawns actually also help black a lot, because king cannot hide. Okay, so let's quickly move forward. h3, h4, queen c3, knight f6, defending from check, takes, knight f3, queen e6. Yeah, and this position already, the engine shows that black is winning. They have this outpost on e4. They have very clear counterplay, remove the king, and this king is statically defenseless. Queen d3, check, and queen a2. Now, this is a queen f2 mate is a threat, and this knight is awfully strong, and black's king is safe. So just wins f6, queen f1, takes, check. Anish is not giving up, even though he sees the mate, obviously. So check, takes, and after knight g3, Giri resigned, because he has to give up his queen to survive. So good game for Alexeyenko, and Giri will, I think, raise in the rankings in the forthcoming year, and he definitely will play more successful candidates. All right, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.